What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing today on this September 14th? It's a Tuesday. I had to figure out for a minute, what day is it actually? I knew it was the 14th, but I didn't know what day it was because nowadays it really doesn't matter what day it is, it feels like anymore. But a new season of Fortnite is here, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to Brad's Bad Show About Games. My name is Brad, and I am not one of the cubes currently inhabiting the new state of the island. But before we get into that, let's get into the event itself. I'm pretty sure I gave my thoughts on the last season in the last episode of this show, so if I didn't, let's just review it. I think it was a pretty good season. I think my favorite season is still the Marvel season, but the saucers, the small updates that came through the season, the storyline stuff, it was all very interesting, and the actual gameplay of the season with the launch pads and all this was very fun. Very good season in my opinion. So let's jump right now into the event itself. I really liked the event. Not bad. It's still really weird for me with these events because I guess I'm expecting to be wowed every single time, and maybe that's just, not fair because the Travis Scott event was like their biggest event that they had up to that point, and that was my very first event to experience. And so I'm always expecting something huge like that. But this was a pretty good event though. I mean, not to say that this wasn't a big event, but anyway, so, a quick rundown. We end up getting abducted just like you usually would in game from the abductors. And we're in those cells that you would be in before the minigame starts, except you're not armed. They don't give you a gun. So, they're on to us right away. The IO, Sloan, I guess specifically, hacks our backpacks to use against them. And we're running around the mothership. There's saucers in there. We run into a few aliens shooting at us, but we're not armed, so we can't shoot back. And that was the one thing I kind of wish we had been able to do, because I had made the comparison beforehand that this plan here of absorb these bombs and blow up the mothership is basically the exact same plan that Tony Stark had for Galactus in Season 4. Get them to swallow all the buses with gamma bombs, and then they all detonate, and it forces them back into the realm that he originally came from. This is basically the same idea, just with a different result. Instead of warping the aliens away, it destroys their spaceship. But, anyway, that's the only thing I wish we could have done. Whereas in the Marvel season, we got to fight back. We got to pilot the battle buses, shoot lasers from them. That was really cool. In this event, I was expecting us to get guns and to fight some of the aliens, but we didn't get to do that. But there were some nice Easter eggs. Midas's golden chair was in one spot. I skipped over that area. Did not mean to. Apparently a golden Peely statue was also in that same area that I skipped. Unfortunately, I think I did see the strange board with the Jonesy. There's a conspiracy board with Jonesy, circled. It had Agent Jones. It had his attire from the end of Season 5, where he's armored up. It had Bunker Jonesy on it, and it had Jonesy the First on it. So those are clearly the most important versions of Jonesy. The henchmen, the lonely henchmen, the lone shadow and ghost henchmen that have been around on the island for the entirety of, mostly for the entirety of this chapter, they were abducted too. You could see them at the end of the event falling back down towards the island. But anyway, what happened storyline-wise is that Sloan is able to activate the bombs, or she tried to at first. It was shut down, and then, lo and behold, the return of Kevin the Cube. And the way they did it, I think somebody explained it on Twitter. It looked like Kevin was killing some of the players in there, but apparently these were just doubles. Apparently, apparently, I guess the event faked it. Like, it kills the people, like, surrounding you. And I guess that the event would just, like, at least for your screen, while not actually taking anybody out of the event. So it's fake. So I'm sure any of the people that were playing with me, I probably got destroyed in their game. If I understand the way they did it correctly, then that might be how it worked. Unless they either did that or they completely fabricated characters to specifically to kill them off for this. But I think they were all supposed to be actual skins that people were using, but I don't know. Anyway, Sloan is able to stop Kevin. He turns into this really just dark, like dark gray, sort of black color and goes inactive. Sloan's able to activate the bombs, and then she drops a different kind of bombshell on us that she's not going to get us out of the ship. She's decided that we are expendable because she doesn't want the cube back on the island. As a result of this, though, Kevin comes back to life and changes to blue. Apparently, there was an interactive thing where you could revive Kevin yourself. And, trying to think here. And after the cube turns blue, we're taken up to this big platform I guess it's the most interior part of the mothership. And an abductor flies overhead, and then suddenly a bunch of cubes show up. So, Kevin the Cube is not a lone entity, I guess. I'm assuming that the cubes are sentient, that they are alive. I don't know if that's confirmed or not in the game, but I think that the cubes are alive. Or they're at least there's some sort of power source that I may be a sentient power source. But anyway, we'll have to see. I'll have to look into my Fortnite lore. Anyway, so there's actually a ton of cubes. The entirety of the ship seems to be maybe constructed out of these cubes, or at least that's the sense I got. That the cubes have the ability to warp reality. And they're all over the place. Now, there was one golden cube as well that was in the very back of the room we were in, and now it's on the island too. So there's a bunch of purple cubes that you would expect on the island now. The blue Kevin, or Blevin as they're calling it, the community. And then there's the golden cube that's just out in the middle by Holly Hedges that people think is going to be the queen. Some kind of character we've been hearing about for now. But anyway, the UFO, the mothership explodes. We're shown hurtling down towards the island. A piece of debris flies towards the screen, and then cut to black, and we got a to be continued screen. Overall, a very fun, cool event. We knew that Kevin was coming back because Donald Mustard said, yes, Cube is coming back. I was surprised we didn't really see Jonesy pop back up yet. I think that by the end of this chapter, Jonesy will return. But like I said, the only real negative thing I could say about this event is that I wish we had been able to fight the aliens. You know, I get that doing like that. We were the sacrificial lambs for this thing. And as cool as it is, and we effectively were the bomb triggers, that's a cool thing. But I wish we could have actually taken part in the combat instead of just running and hiding. But, you know, it's not a big deal. Anyway, cool event. Really liked it. I was surprised that the new season started yesterday on Monday instead of today. I was expecting it to start today. But I guess they want to try to keep these downtimes as short a time as possible so people can get back in and enjoy the content. But anyway, really like this event. Really cool. The aliens have been... Sloan was successful, but it does not look like she actually won the war. And with that, we roll right into Season 8, cubed. So this season, the trailer for the season starts with 5 different characters. One of them being JB Chimplansky, one of the new skins. They come upon one of the cubes. It looks inactive, but it activates and rolls over on top of one of the characters and kills them. Then a bunch of demon monsters, zombies, whatever they're called, show up and surround the remaining fighters. And a female voice says something about, like you thought all these preparations had prepared, or something like you prepared all these preparations you took to prevent us from coming here have only prepared the island for our arrival. Something to that effect, being like, oh, you thought you were stopping us? You just helped us, basically. And so it looks like shooting down the mothership was actually a bad idea. So now the island is overwhelmingly covered with cubes, both the big ones that have already began to move. I think I've seen it now. 2 of them have moved since the start of the season already. So I don't remember. I wasn't around when the cube was there the first time, so I don't know how often these things move or how fast they are or anything like that. So I'll be curious to see if there's a time when I'm playing if one of these things is going to move. But anyway, the trailer for the season itself ends with a scuba diver looking around underwater. There's some fish. It's deep, deep, deep. And then you come across the Foundation, who is mostly buried at the bottom of the ocean, but his mask comes back on. So that tells me he's conscious now. He's awake. Now, what's going to happen? It's been a long time since the Foundation arrived on the island, and he's been here now for a while. He showed up at the end of Season 5, locked himself up with the 0 point in Season 6. Season 7, he spent unconscious at the bottom of the ocean. Now he's awake. So when is he going to show up? So that's the big question. So before we get into the other map stuff, let's talk about the Battle Pass. I think these are very interesting skins. Like, it's very wild. Like, I'm not super excited about any particular skin, but they're very interesting. So, like, the first skin is Charlotte, and I don't really care much for her base design, as it just kind of looks like a schoolgirl, you know, where she floats a little bit. But her, like, transformation that she has, I don't know if it's transformation, it's just another style, where she's like this demon slayer. So, she fights evil spirits. And she is an evil spirit herself. She's an evil spirit who slays demons or something like that. It's a cool idea. I love her sword and I love her emote that she has. I don't think it's a built-in emote. It might be. But her emote is that she can materialize her sword out of thin air. And she slices it around a little bit. And to do the emote again, it sheaths the sword. Now, I'm not sure. I've only, thought that maybe this is what this was for. But I wonder if that is an emote that sort of functions like Wolverine's adamantium claws. Wolverine's built-in emote allows you to swap over from his standard, whatever pickaxe he's given, to use his claws as a pickaxe. You can't select his claws as your pickaxe. You have to use him and then use the emote. So I wonder if that is going to work similar to this, in that, you know, that you could put your sword up, or if it's just straight up an emote. But I'm not sure if it's even built in. It'll be cool to look at that. Tuna fish is an interesting skin. You can find different color bins for him to build up and change what color he is, so he doesn't stay black and white like that. But you can also find variants of him that are based on existing characters. So you can find a Jonesy the First color palette for him. The Lexa anime girl, there's one for her. So there's a whole bunch of different ones for him, and there's a lot of customization. I just really hope that this is not as annoying as the alien artifacts are or were. Really, really hope that that's not how this goes. I didn't finish the Chimera stuff. I'm not too worried about it. But I hope that this is actually doable and that it won't be a pain to have to, force myself to have to do this. But anyway, he's got some cool stuff there. Let's see, who else was there? What was the next skin? I think the next skin was Core, who is a agent of the Imagined Order. So the Imagined Order's not gone yet. Not really sure what she does. She has a blue eye. And I theorize maybe she's one of the sisters that Jonesy was talking about, but she may not be. She may just simply be sort of like how the whole war between Shadow and Ghost lasted basically a whole season, and then there were some remnants left over, like Jules was in Shadow. Maybe this is just, I don't know. But she's an interesting character. I like her standard outfit, but I also kind of like the overcoat, the big red overcoat. Cool stuff. She has an emote that I think is mostly meant for her, but I don't think it's built in. Is where she's filing her nails. So that's pretty cool. Who was next? I wanted to do these in order, but I can't remember the order. I think the next one was Fabio Sparklemane. Now this is a wild, wild skin. One of the more comedic skins here. Fabio is a cereal mascot for Unicorn Flakes. And he comes with all these cereal-based tools, and his built-in emote is him, like, shilling his cereal. That's what his emote is, to sell you his product. It's a complete with a jingle. It's just like a little cereal commercial you would see on TV or hear on the radio or something like that. It's really, really funny, and I can't wait to unlock that character. It will be a very fun trolling character. But yeah, he's really fun. JB Chimplansky, already saw him in the trailer. He is clearly based on the idea of sending chimps to space, his experiments, except he actually has, he's fully self-aware. He's got shades on. He looks really cool. His built-in emote, and he has a theme song too, is just like the metal monkey. So it's like he's got like a metalhead guy. I think it's like monkey moshing or something like that is what his built-in emote is named. It's really cool. But he's a cool looking skin. The next character is, I think her name is Tauren. It's the one in the middle there. I guess she's the most important. She has the ability apparently to just enter the sideways, which I'll talk about in a minute, at will. And she utilizes the power of the cube to transform herself into a form that I guess performs better or is more accustomed to the sideways. So I'm curious as to exactly who she is, why she's able to use the cube this way. But she's in the middle of the season thing, of the season art. So surely she's got to be important. But I think so was the Spire Assassin from season 6, and she ultimately didn't play much role in the story either. So I don't know. And tier 100 is Carnage. Now, I thought I saw somebody tweet out, one of the leakers tweet out, that Carnage was going to be in the shop, but no, he's in the battle pass, and I'm fine with that. Basically just a red version of Venom, although his extra form has tendrils coming out of him pretty much every few seconds. That's really cool, as it makes him look a little bit more unpredictable than Venom is. And I think it's just a cool skin. But I'm curious as to, like, is he going to be involved in the story at some point, or is this just in there? But, that's it. Overall, I like it. It's very strange. It's a very strange battle pass, in my opinion. It's not bad or good. I can't really decide how I feel about them all yet. But I do like them. I like them all. And we do have a true secret skin this season. It has not been revealed. People are theorizing this will be the true queen character that is, I guess, either hidden in the golden cube or is going to be what the golden cube becomes. But they are suggesting that the queen is who the secret skin is. I think it's only 45 days before we get that reveal. It was like 62 days for Superman to enter the game in the last season, so less waiting is always good. Overall, I like this battle pass. I'll be curious to see exactly what the secret skin will look like, but we don't know yet. As it turned out, as was clarified, Naruto, of course, not in this battle pass, as we can see, but he is coming. Naruto will be in Fortnite this season. When? Don't know, but he's also coming with Exploding Kunai. It's going to be a wild time. I think there's going to be some very crazy collabs happening this season. Because think about it. We've already got Carnage in the battle pass, and Naruto is on the way. Two entirely separate characters from two totally different realities. And these are our first two collabs that we know of. So, very exciting stuff. And to move on to the game itself before we get out of here. As I said, the little cubes are back. The shadow cubes or whatever they're called. They turn you into the sort of like a ghost thing. Apparently this is what happened the last time the cubes were on the island too. Very reminiscent of, it reminded me of Fortnitemares, but those ghosts actually could attack and everything. This is strictly for stealth. It turns you kind of invisible. But the big thing that's going to be interesting is the sideways and how that works. The sideways, you enter in, it's a big bubble on the island. It spawns randomly anywhere. If you enter there, the sideways monsters all spawn, and they will chase whoever they are the closest to, and they will attack you. Very cool idea. I expect this sideways thing to get bigger through the season. I think that's what we're going to see. Or more of them will pop up. Right now, it's just one small one. I think either there's going to be more, or they're going to grow. Maybe both. Or we may have a permanent sideways location end up on the island at some point. Now, one thing I'm surprised didn't change, the island itself, there's a lot of changes. And I think this is the most the island has changed since season 4, actually, with the big drop of New York City. That big chunk of New York for Tony Stark. But one thing that's interesting is the places where the mothership crashed and where all these cubes are, they have the same sort of prehistoric time thing effect that Season 6 had, where the trees are all brown or golden orange or whatever, or orangish, reddish, whatever. Those primal areas, it's the same sort of effect and look, and as a result of that, the raptors are back. I did not expect that. I was just playing around yesterday, and I was about to take somebody out, and a raptor rushed them, and I was like, "Whoa, that's something that I wasn't expecting." So yeah, raptors are back. They're just as fast and just as annoying when they're after you as they were before. So that's a decent little surprise, an annoying one, but hey, I'm fine with this. Crows have been added to the game. So you can randomly find crows flying around the island now. They'll give you meat if you kill them. What else was there? Slipstreams that are around the wreckage. You can, if you jump into one, fall into one or whatever, you can fly around in a circle within the stream. And that's a pretty cool thing. What else was there? Oh, the Sideways has Sideways weapons. They're pretty powerful. Basically, it's the same. Functions the same way. Basically, it's like the primal stuff, the IO things, the alien lasers and all from the last season. It's just these are items specifically from this season. One thing I got off on a tangent there, but one thing I'm surprised did not change is that the Steamy Stacks has been untouched. I did not expect that. I think that will change though, considering that the cubes are all here, and that plant, the Steamy Stacks plant, is based and themed around Kevin. It's like named Kevinology or something like that. And there's a very small little cube that's been stationed in front of Steamy Stacks through this whole chapter. So I think something is going to happen there. In the trailer, it looked like part of the UFO had collided with that. But with the purple energy there, I feel like something has to happen at Steamy. It has to this season. Whether another cube has been hiding there the whole time, or that little cube in the parking lot in front of the big office is part of the ship and it's just been there the whole time and nobody really thought anything about it. Like, something's going to happen there. It has to. But that's really all I've got as far as this season. Off to a good start. The some of the other things before I get out of here. The battle pass, the battle star thing, star points or whatever, they brought those back. Again, I would rather just level up and get a reward. I personally think that that's a little bit more simple. You know, I guess people like having the choice, and that's fine. I get it. But I think for me, I liked it better when you level up and you instantly get your reward. You know, you're given something just for leveling up instead of having to sit there and do math as to how many more levels you need to get this particular item. You know, if I use 5 stars on this, then I'll have 3 stars left. Should I just wait and get this next thing next or whatever? It seems like the freedom of that is cool, but it also seems like something that's just not important enough for me to want the freedom and have to pick that in that order, you know? But whatever. It's not a big deal. I think that's all I wanted to cover. But yeah, cool stuff. New season. Very fun. As usual, like the lore has me interested. The skins are entertaining, of course. But I'm curious as to who all is going to be joining the game. We're getting some kind of performance again. Another live event show. Donald Mustard said, it's not Lady Gaga. I'm sure it's not. But you know, could be some interesting things going on. And before I get out of here, well, you know what? I'll save that for the next show. I was going to talk about Epic and Apple, but I wanted this to focus on the event itself, the end of Season 7 and the start of Season 8. So I'll talk about Epic versus Apple. That is over. I'll talk about that in the next show, which I may record later today. But anyway, as usual, like I said, you know, we've got Carnage in the Battle Pass. Naruto's coming. The Foundation is awake. Lots of stuff probably going to happen. Donald Mustard said he's been looking forward to getting to this part of the chapter for a while. He says that this chapter, possibly, I would guess, the next 3 chapters, the end of chapter 2, the next 3 seasons, the end of chapter 2, he says, are very exciting. And he's been very excited to get to this part of the story. I hope some interesting things happen. What those are, who knows? Only he knows. Only a select group of people know. But, like I said, we get Season 7, pretty good season. Maybe second favorite season in terms of gameplay and everything like that. This one, time will tell. Let's see if the island can remain in one piece after we stop the aliens, but it seems like the greater plan of overtaking the island has been successful. at least from whatever these new enemies are. The sideways is here. So let's see what happens. But anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Go check out all my other videos. And we'll see you next time. Later.